So, I'm here with my esteemed co-host Adam. I think Roxas is out there sleeping or something. But Adam, Adam. He's like, "What do you want, Grandpa?" Okay, so disclaimer: this is probably false. It is not true, I'm sure. It is, however, just a rumor. All right, you know what rumors are? Could be true, may not be true. But since I'm a nobody on the internet and I will never have a chance to actually talk to anyone in the business, this is what I have to do. I have to, I'm reading the articles. So if I'm providing the false information, I'm providing the information I get from the article. Okay. So it says outright rumor. And this has a thing of salt. Okay. So I don't want to hear,
Oh my god, I can't believe you actually believe this.
could be true, could not be true. There are plenty of times this year that leaks have happened and rumors have happened that were true. So, not to mention, this is a major thing. Mass Effect for BioWare is like it's like a last stand. If Mass Effect doesn't do well, BioWare is pretty much done. They were counting on Dragon Age the Failguard to get them back. That didn't work out. And if this proves to be true, which even if this wasn't true with the post-launch thing, they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. They know they need players and they need the money, but they can't help themselves. If they see a chance to push ideological crap, they're going to do it. So, rumor, big word there, rumor. BioWare may stealth introduce politically charged content into Mass Effect 5 post-game. I mean, I could see that with like pronouns, which they do have in right here. So I could let you go in, you've got your pause screen, your character and all that, and it's fine at first. Then they're like, okay, yeah, we got to push out a patch, or an update to fix some things. And then you come back and suddenly there's pronouns there. So I don't know what kind of other politically charged content they could do post-launch, unless it's like some kind of DLC where an entire storyline is someone having an existential crisis about their identity. Tosh, is that you? Supposed insider, again, supposed. Sometimes people can show credentials, but they're completely bogus. So, I'm just reporting what is being reported, okay? I do not have access to people in the business. I'm just a nobody on the internet. If you want to get mad at the people writing the article. Or the people coming out with, this stuff. Get mad at them. I'm just a nobody on the internet. I just report what I see. Okay? A supposed insider claiming to be a contractor working on BioWare's upcoming Mass Effect 5 revealed that EA and BioWare might be shifting strategies in the wake of Dragon Age the Failguard's epic failure. Salt and all that, of course, but this would fit very nicely with a few other rumblings I have heard back from back channels. Companies want to get rid of the woke, but are equally worried the woke will attack them for it, and so will try to hit a middle line. I work as a contractor for. Well, at least they say there's a contractor. It could be like the old-fashioned. Well, my uncle who works for Nintendo told me. The good old days of the Triforce rumors and my uncle who works at Nintendo said he worked really, really closely on the game, with Americanization, and he said that you can in fact get the Triforce in Ocarina of Time, and he told me exactly how to do it. But he told me that I can't tell anyone, that's an inside secret. Yeah, remember those days? Or Stop and Swap for Banjo-Kazooie, or Luigi and Mario 64, or anything dealing with like the polka gods that they called them back in like red and blue, and there's always that mysterious uncle who worked at Nintendo. So Oh, memories. I work as a contractor for Method 5. I do QA, and I have a warning for you. Um, we got our we got an all hands on deck meeting last week. Devs were asked to delay features, art, and content that may be deemed woke or political, and defer them to future patches. I mean, isn't that kind of like what I said? Because that's like the only thing I can imagine. Where like you have the normal storyline, but then any patches or DLC or something, they kind of start leaking it in, and it may not happen at first. It might be for like a storyline or a quest or whatever down the road. So it's not gonna hit you all at once, but you're gonna be like, huh, well that's weird. And then like 25 hours later, it's like, wait a minute, I'm starting to see a trend here. Um, Huge patches. As QAS, we were asked to report if we audit or detect anything that might resemble them so that they can be fixed. The company wants to launch the game as clean as possible and introduce woke stuff silently through patches. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. I mean, for me, I just say like the pronouns and stuff because I mean, obviously, you get entire expansions through patches and stuff. So, um, but I fear this entry might be industry wide. They wouldn't be issuing this so early otherwise. So tread carefully. That's all. What's this now? Submission title. Nice try. 40K reject. And they've got like it's like just because unless it's actually proven, you can't just say, "Oh, well, they said something and I don't believe it's real." So it's fake. When was it proven false? I like you notice he posts that, but then there's like nothing else afterwards. You thought. Um, aren't they? There's no way you'll believe this. I mean, salt right there. I don't know what more people have to do. Say it's a rumor. It's the time of year. A new game is going to come out soon. It's like with World of Warcraft. You know, we get closer to the end of an expansion, and suddenly everyone and their mother is coming out like, "Oh my God, I know the next. I got a leak from the next World of Warcraft expansion, and here's what it is." Are they usually true? No, no. Although the Dragonflight one was true, people were like, "Oh, that sounds so ridiculous." It turned out to be true. So that's why I'm saying it's sometimes sometimes the more ridiculous it sounds, the more true it ends up being. But however, since the information is unverified, we're treating it as a rumor for the time being. Exactly. A rumor. So I'm just reporting this. It might be a rumor, it might be true, it may not be true. But as of right now, unless someone proves otherwise, it's just a rumor. And uh yeah, we just read that. It's entirely possible that BioWare and EA are wary of ideological or political content after the horrible failure of Dragon Age: The Failguard. A recent report from YouTube creator Smash JT citing sources with BioWare stating that big budget title has yet to move 1.5 million copies worldwide. Yeah, yeah, which makes it a failure still. The game's still a failure. Like people could say, "Oh, it's a great game." Okay, if you enjoy it, great. But it financially did not make back nearly what it needed to in order to be successful. So therefore, it is a failure. The game cost about $400 million to make, and it only made back like $100 million. Does that sound like a success to you? It was a failure. Why? Because the game sucked. It was It was lackluster for what it was trying to do. The story was bad. The characters were bad. Tosh is probably the most annoying character in that game. Um, People just didn't like it. Hence why it had 30,000 refunds within the first few days of it being launched. It's just a bad game. And if you enjoyed it, great. Great, that's good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But you enjoying the game does not make it a success. Okay? You liking the game isn't going to make it make back the $400 million it took to make it. So, you enjoy the game. Super. Different strokes for different folks. But financially, it was a failure of a game. $400 million to make, it only made back like $100 million. So, Dragon Age represented a major financial and critical embarrassment for BioWare. And many believe the upcoming Mass Effect 5 could be the studio's last chance. Yeah, pretty much is. However, the current state of BioWare, coupled with the recent release of Mass Effect, with the recent release of a Mass Effect board game, have left many fearing for the future of the signature franchise. Sources from the company expose a culture of toxic positivity where decisions are driven entirely by identity politics. Additionally, the Mass Effect board game confirmed the fears of many with the inclusion of pronouns for iconic characters, including she, they, listed for longtime squad member Liara Dissoni. It's a Sony. Liara was always referred to as she, her, with the original 3 Mass Effect games. Issues around gender were one of the main complaints about Dragon Age, where large sections of the game were dedicated to ideological driven conversations. I'm non-binary. Who the hell? Who the fuck starts a conversation off like that? The game also allowed the player to select their preferred pronouns and design characters with scars that indicate elective body modification surgery. The Reddit thread in question was removed, with mods citing misleading information. However, the author still managed to respond to several questions beforehand. In these responses, the supposed insider confirmed the Pride Flight cosmetic patches were planned with alternative names like Bubblegum Patch for a design featuring blue, pink, and white. Would it be bubblegum? I mean, you think of blue, pink, white. You think of like cotton candy. I mean, that's just me. I think blue, pink. That alone, I think of cotton candy. I don't think of bubblegum when it comes to those colors. But whatever. Whatever. If they want to call it cotton candy patch, whatever. Or the bubblegum patch or whatever it is. Additionally, the leaker noted that the pronoun selection was included in the current build. Grums seemed hopeful of this rumor. I can tell you this. When management says delete this now, they don't really plan to add it in later. They're saying to keep their activist employees from rioting. Yeah, they're saying that to keep their active employees from rioting. But it's like, oh, I just want you guys to delete it. Uh-huh. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Oh, we'll delete it right away. However, this would seem to confirm a scoop that YouTube commentator Dimian shared back in September. Do you remember? That noted studios were going to start injecting DEI content in secret. Because when it's pretty much your last chance, you want the numbers from selling games. And you want to inject this stuff at a point where it's pretty much too late for anyone to get a refund. So that way you can say, oh, hey, look at these numbers. They're great. They're awesome. Look how much money we made from this game. Because it's like too late. Like with Steam, it has to be less than, 2 hours played? Like 2 hours or less played for a refund. So, again, it's just a rumor, and I'm just giving my personal opinion. personal opinion about as if the rumor was true. Is it true? Probably not. I have to keep saying this because people are fucking rerees. Um, According to my sources, okay, yeah, it's still a Demian. This was one of the most damning allegations, so please listen carefully here. In that game industry, across plenty of studios, will start to market their games of being devoid of identity politics and pandering almost completely. However, the actual content within these games in the future will not be altered or lessened in terms of identity political content, despite its total change in marketing. Essentially, Endymion sources believe that the industry is about to start playing 4D chess with gamers attempting to trick them into purchasing content that features identity politics. And at this point, would it be? I've told you guys for ages. I've told these companies think you're stupid. This would just be more proof of what I was saying, of what everyone else has been. They think you're stupid. They think they can trick you. And then when it doesn't work, what happens? We're just a bunch of phobes and isms. So, simply put, many studios and publishers are still all in on DEI and wokeness in the future. Like they are not changing that, and they still want you to consume this content whether you want to or not. But they will now sell you the games by marketing them to you to trick you into thinking they are not woke, basically. And then you will buy them, and then sometime into these future experiences, and then you will buy it, and then sometime into these future experiences, all the wokeness, I guess, will reveal itself. I mean, I don't think it's going to be all in your face at once. It's going to be like a trickle down kind of thing, where it's like you start the game and you hear like certain words and modern terminology that shouldn't be in the game, and then you're like, okay, that's weird. And then you're playing for another hour or two, and then they do it again. And then another 10 hours goes by, they do it again. And then another 5 hours goes by, they do it again. And you're like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And then you'll reveal itself, and then you will probably be too far into these games. Exactly, that's what I said. Because it's like with Steam, you have to have 2 hours or less playtime in order for a refund. What they want to do is, allegedly, according to the rumor, sounds like what they're trying to do is make sure that you cannot get the refund so that they can say, oh, look at these numbers. Look at all the game purchases. It's fudging numbers. Companies do it, especially like with series and stuff. They'll say, "Oh my God, look at all the numbers! Look at all the views that the show's gotten." But then they'll go to they'll use the numbers from the first episode, which is always going to be the highest. So it sounds like if this was true, the whole purpose of it was to basically convince you to buy the game and have it long enough. It'd be like, you complete the game and you're like, oh, well, I didn't notice anything. And then they an update or a patch or, DLC or something, and that's where everything is. And because you've already put 100 hours into the game, it's too late for a refund. So it kind of sounds like that's what they're trying to do. And like, I didn't even read the article beforehand, and that's exactly what I said before. That's exactly what I said before. That they're trying to get to where you can't get a refund. Because for Steam, at least, it's a very small margin. Like I said, less than 2 hours played, which is why 30,000 people returned the fail guard. They got less than 2 hours in the game. They're like, no, I'm done. I'm done. So 30,000 people, that's a $2 million loss right there. You really think they want to do that again? Again, rumor. Is it true? Probably not. But we're going to come at it as if it was because it hasn't been disproven yet. Or at least I haven't seen it, like a real, apart from, Con 4K lying, or whatever, despite the fact of providing no proof that it was actually a lie. So, funny with the keyboard. The company has just put out Veilguard. When you're missing out on parts of the game if you choose not to play as a trans character, what do you expect from the same company to put out something good unless they declare significant company-wide changes? Uh, they think you're stupid. But we're not the ADHD basement dwellers they've convinced themselves we are. That better describes the woke mob, really. We're capable of being patient. Like they think they seem to think that, oh well, if you don't play our game, what are you gonna have? These players who are mostly older people, whether it be male, female, who usually have families, whether it be children or just, married, uh, who have plenty of money to spend on games, probably have a massive backlog, a mass back catalog of games at their disposal. They don't need to buy your current crap. Like, people have no problem going back and playing Ocarina of Time for the 5 millionth time just to play something. So these companies think it's like, oh well, if it wasn't for us producing games, you wouldn't have anything. We still have the games from the past, so you know we're incredibly patient. We can wait for something good. No, the wokeness will be in the main game. Look at Dragon Age. These people can't help themselves. They can't. They can't. This is why I'm saying, even though it's a rumor, with all the rumors that have come out this year that have proven to be true, I wouldn't be surprised because these companies, because they're not game makers anymore, they're activists, and as activists, they cannot help themselves but insert ideology into everything. It's like that meme of the two choices with the guy sweating. It's got the two choices that it's like, make a good game to save our company or insert ideology, and it's like, oh, it's exactly that meme now because they want to save the game and the company, but they want to be able to insert their ideology. So I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. There's no confirmation. So again, I'm just a nobody on the internet. I'm just reporting what I see. And what I see is just these that people put on there. So I'm just reporting, grain of salt, a whole bag if you prefer. Is it true? Probably not. But the way BioWare has been going, uh, saying the same thing about Dragon Age, and look what happened. Would it surprise anyone if it did turn out to be true? No, it wouldn't. But anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.